It really continues. Lesson 6 continues with 5 in this this picture of recognition and rejection, and really Jesus going out of his way to try to help his disciples understand who he is, and also the growing contention. This was actually, if I have a favorite lesson, this is my favorite lesson of this quarterly bread of contention. And the reason is, as you get into studying it, you'll see that the text that we're looking at really covers, going from, I guess, 6 into 7, is that right? 4 bread stories. And each of these bread stories, first the Pharisees coming out, why don't your disciples wash their hands? They got their bread all dirty. And Jesus says, hey, I'm more concerned about dirty hearts than dirty hands. That's the moral of that lesson. But then we have the story of the Syrophoenician woman who's appealing for her daughter, I believe. And Jesus says, well, we don't give the bread to dogs. It's a startling statement to her. But she says, but even the dogs get the crumbs. And in this story, the bread is being used symbolic, and the bread symbolizes Jesus himself, because she's asking for a miracle. And he said, why would I give myself or the bread to you? And he commends her faith, and he shares the bread, the miracle of the kingdom. Again, this is like the seed metaphor extended into the bread metaphor. But these all go together, and there's a hint of contention in each of these stories. In the next bread story, I believe, is the feeding of the 5,000, 4,000, 5,000. Another story that's in all 4 Gospels. And in this story, we have Jesus kind of as in a picture of Israel in the wilderness. You have a multitude, they're hungry, and Jesus tells his disciples, feed them. And they're like, well, what do we have? And so you can see the contention there. And of course, he multiplies the bread, and that's distributed, and we see this blessing. And again, it's a beautiful picture of the kingdom. But again, we see this tension between him and his disciples, not recognizing really his true power. Of course, this leads us to him helping the disciples. He warns them to beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. And again, we turn from a physical bread to a metaphoric. And the disciples are like, oh, he's upset with us because we didn't take bread. They've missed the point again. And so he's having to say, I'm talking about the teachings of the Pharisees. And this is really what it comes down to, is this kingdom bread, if you will. It's a difference between the teaching of the Pharisees and the teaching of Jesus. Which do you want? Which are you going to follow? Which is going to order your life or give you nourishment? And each of these 4 bread stories beautifully tie together. It extends this connection of recognition and rejection. And unusual, the people who are receiving are the ones you don't expect. You don't expect the Syrophoenician woman to recognize him. At the same time, you kind of expect his disciples to get the picture, but still they're struggling, and they're still wrestling with fear, and how fear gets in the way of faith in this process of Jesus revealing himself as the Son of God.